Audrey, how's it going?
I'm feeling great, man. We here, national championship game. Got a great fight coming up this week. Make sure y'all tune in on the zone. Jerron Bootsinis will be putting up his IBF welterweight title against Iman Stanionis for his WBA welterweight title here. Well, it'll be in Atlantic City in the legendary Boardwalk Hall. Make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that. And other than that, I'm feeling great, man. I hope your week went well.
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Thank you. Excited for the big NC2A game tonight. Florida Gators against the Houston Cougars. Can't knock those guys. Kelvin Sampson, guy has been one, like you said, one of the great long-standing coaches in this game, getting a team that everybody in the college basketball landscape has basically been shouted out for how they play the game, their timely shooting. So, yeah, another episode of Two Things, Two Questions. Jump right into it. First question. Not to take anything away from Houston, but, in the Cooper Flagg basketball kind of lore now, how big of a blemish is this for his career thus far as a hooper?
Hey, man, I'll go down the list of great recruits who, I mean, you could look at it like they choked in the tournaments that came out of Duke. Duke has a long history of winning. That's what they're known for. But they also known for that's what they get into too. We could talk about the Elton Brand teams: William Avery, Shane Battier, Nate James, Chris Carwell. They were the perennial number one in '99. They were the monster in 1999. And what happened? Rip Hamilton, Khalid Elamine, Ricky Moore, Kevin Freeman, Jake Bosco. They took Duke out in the national championship. Rip Hamilton was the most valuable player of that game. JJ Redick, great college career, couldn't cut it. Who else I could go to? The Kyle Singlers and all these guys, these jabronis that were on Duke, they didn't get it done. It happens, man. Zion, as crazy as that recruiting class was for Coach K, with Zion, RJ Barrett, what's the brother here from here on this side? Cam Reddish. That was a loaded recruiting class. That was three of the top five recruits in the nation. And they lost in the Elite Eight. It's not going to put a blemish on Cooper Flagg. It happens. We are in the one and done era, so you don't see guys stay too much longer. But they did get to the Final Four. Paulo Banchero made a Final Four and lost. So, hey, he just going to be on the list of great players that just couldn't get the job done at Duke. But that ain't going to hurt him being a great NBA player. Being that I am a Duke hater, I will call and give Cooper Flagg his flowers. He has been dominant since the start of the tournament, and he really turned it on right after he turned 18. That's when he hit the switch, man. He became the dog, the alpha of that team, because he was trying to not do too much early on in his Duke career, but he's going to be a hell of a basketball player. Con Canoopel, he's going to be a great player. Like I just told you, Mile Lock, he got Joel Embiid written all over him. If he can learn the offensive aspect of the game, which he will, might be looking at another Hakeem Olajuwon, Joel Embiid type player. Remember, I told you all that. But this ain't a stain for Duke, but I do enjoy seeing Duke lose because I hate the Blue Devils.
Well said. Well said. I mean, I think that I certainly have felt a certain kind of distaste for seeing Duke do well ever since Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, and Anthony went down to Duke in that championship game when the Running Rebels were like basically it. They were like, better than an
They
NBA.
were undefeated going into that game, man. But you know what's fucked up about that? The NCAA didn't want UNLV. They already had a gripe with that team. So many suspensions handed out in those 2 seasons when they won the championship before and the next year, guys getting suspended. They wanted Duke to win that game. And if you look at that second Final Four, that 1991 Final Four between Duke and UNLV, look at how that game was officiated. That was some bullshit, man. Them referees kept them guys in that game. Because if you look at the talent on UNLV, yeah, I get it. Talent don't always win, but we're talking about a team that went defeated going into that Duke game. And they destroyed Duke the year before. Destroyed them in the national championship game, man.
It was tough. That was a tough watch. So, second question, second installment on that note, tournaments that have come before. We talked about Tyus Edney. We talked about, Kemba. Kemba had a legendary run. His UConn Huskies, coming through, making that whole situation happen. He did have support. Walter Clayton Jr. is on one of those runs right now. And, the guy is tough. He's an athlete. He was a highly touted football recruit. What is your NBA ready or not analysis of this player?
I'm going with everybody else saying. That's baby Steph right there. That's the baby face assassin. You know what I mean? So this brother can shoot. He can score on all three levels. He can get to the paint. He elevates when he get in that paint, when he need to get the layups. He's an athlete. And that brother can score with the best of them. It's almost reminiscent of Stephen Curry's 2008 NCAA tournament run before getting knocked out by the eventual national champion Kansas Jayhawks at that time. But Steph was going through all them teams. Them 4 games he played in that '08, like he was putting up numbers, hitting threes. He was doing everything. And that's what Walter Clayton looked like. I don't want to put that comp on him, but everybody and their mama putting that on him. And I see why. That young brother could score. He could shoot. Will he ever be the player that Stephen Curry was? No, but Stephen Curry wasn't no highly touted recruit coming out of high school. He was so small as a guard at Davidson, but the brother could shoot. He was deceptively quick. He could get to the basket. He had handles, and he also could score on all three levels. But I really love Walter Clayton Jr. game, and I feel like if the right team, allow him to have the freedom that he has at Florida, where he can do what he do with the Rock, he could be an all-star, perennial all-star. He has that type of talent.
No, without a doubt. I like this guy's demeanor. He seems like he's got that cool, measured kind of leadership demeanor in these big moments. I always feel like that translates well to especially guard play in the league, because you got to be able to handle those pressure cooker kind of situations.
And that's what led to Duke demise. They lost because they were trying to not make mistakes. Tyrese Proctor, Con Canoopel, they were basically not trying to get the ball off the inbounds, and people don't know what to do. Walter Clayton got a calm steadiness, like he's not worried about the pressure. You know what I mean? And he's been in some big games, some big battles, going at the SEC, all those teams in the SEC, from the Texases, the Kentuckys, the Arkansas, the Tennessees. They've been in big time matchups, so they're not new to this. They're not new to the playing on the big stage. So I really like Walter Clayton game. I'm looking forward to seeing this upcoming summer league too, man. It's going to be some great matchups. I just hope the Philadelphia 76ers get one of those guys, man. Hell, we don't need a guard, but I could see somebody like who could use a Walter Clayton Jr. Like Washington could use another guard, but they're going to draft high. They're not going to draft him. He's going to be at the lower half of the first round. But somebody pick him up and give him the freedom to do what he do. That be the problem. A lot of teams don't give you the freedom that you usually have. But this guy, for him to be like he is, you got to let him have the rock in his hand and let him create and do what he got to do. I feel like CJ McCollum. Remember when he went on his tournament run at Lehigh?
That's right.
He only played in 2 games, but he put in enough work where you could say, oh, this guy's an NBA player. And that's what I see in Walter Clayton.
To your point, I don't know if this is crazy or not, but the Toronto Raptors don't have a player that is like the go get it kind of guy for them. They've got a lot of dudes like Scotty Barnes who got length, who got a lot of switchable skills, but I could see a Clayton just stepping in there and being kind of like, the galvanizing force between the rest of the people.
Oh, you'll see him in the next Drake video if he go to Toronto. I could guarantee you that.
All right. I mean, it would probably happen, right? I mean, let's be honest.
You know it's going to happen. It's Drake.
Well, I mean, Drake needs a comeback at this point. So maybe by association, it's a good one for him.
Yeah, Drake is, hey, man, I don't even want to go there with Drake, man. That whole Drake debacle, you know what I mean? Imagine Jay-Z suing Nas over Ether, but I know all the Drake fans going to say, well, it ain't happen like that because his record label did and all that. Man, shut up. It's rap, man. Pull your skirt down. Stop bitching.
This is true. This is true. This is true. All right. So prediction phase of the program. All right. Matchup. Who you taking? Who you like? And what are the keys to this victory tonight?
Man, Walter Clayton, man, he doing this thing. But you know what? I want to go with Coach Kelvin Sampson, man. I'm going to pick the Houston Cougars. Look, Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler was so close in the 80s many times, and they would lose, whether it was a Derek Wittenberg heave and I forgot the center that put it in, man, got the dunk, the alley oop, and then you dealt with Patrick Ewing, that legendary 1984 matchup between Hakeem and Patrick, and Patrick took Hakeem out at the time when he was called Hakeem, and they were so close. And I love what Kelvin Sampson built because Houston was a big pivotal collegiate basketball program in the 80s, man. Late 70s going into the 80s, that was a destination to go to, and they haven't been on the mat since Kelvin Sampson stepped forward and he took control, and they've been a perennial powerhouse since he took over the reins at Houston. And I want to see that brother get a championship. I've seen him coach Eduardo Nahara, the Blake Griffins, the Willie Warrens, the Ryan Humphreys and shit. Y'all probably don't even remember Ryan Humphrey, but yo, he put his work in, and I want to see a guy like that who put years of coaching in, being a father figure to so many children. I want to see Kelvin Sampson get that chip. I'm going with Houston, 76-72 over the Florida Gators.
76-72, Houston Cougars over the Gators. Lock that in, Stanton. Mr. West Philly Hippie, always making the correct prognostication on the program. NC2A this time. Andre, as always, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the education. And we'll do this again next week.
We'll do it again next week.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.